the jobs we are supposed to create locally are lost. And so the opportunities to grow our own manufacturing capabilities and enterprises is also lost. So there is need for a determined, affirmative action to drive our industrialization. And part of that endeavor includes availing credit to our manufacturing sector. I must commend you because the banking sector in Kenya is the most profitable globally. But I also want to tell you that you can do even better by lending to more people at lower rates so that you enhance your, so that you use the economies of scale. You know, the more people you lend to, the bigger the pie we all bake. So I want to encourage you that that is the space we want to work with you around and to see how we can do this again together. I know you have mentioned something about KRA. I just want to promise you that our strategy is not to push for more taxes on the people who are already paying. Our strategy is for more people to pay little taxes so that we can reduce big taxes on the people who are already paying so much. That is the way that we want to go into the future. And we are overhauling the management and the business practice of Kenya Revenue Authority, leveraging more on technology so that we can be able to do more and be able to ensure that we raise domestically, we mobilize domestic resources more and reduce on what we are borrowing. So lending is one assignment that I want to give you to our private sector. Lending to the private sector is at what percent, Tuge? I think we came down significantly. You know, the lending to the private sector only grew by 1.3%, which is really insignificant. We want that sector, the private sector, to do more. And I know what we need to do as a public sector to enable you to do that. So we will do our part. Please do yours. Let me also ask you, as the banking sector, another request. We already are signed in with a Pan-African payment system. The Pan-African payment system, Tuge tells me he convened a meeting with the banking industry, and I must commend you. Many people from the banking industry showed up. And the whole reason why we are doing this is we want to reduce our transactions cost, especially for products and trade that are transboundary. We spend about $5 billion as a continent in just, exchange rate issues. With the Pan-African payment system, we can sell our products and buy products from the continent in our local currencies. That way, we avoid losses as a result of exchange, of different currency exchange rates. So I want to encourage the banking industry to participate in that space, because Kenya has been identified as the place where we want to domicile the Pan-African payment system. But our drawback is that not as many banks are using that facility. I want to encourage, and I've told Gashora, the chairman of the Kenya Bankers, to encourage more banks to participate in that. It is good for you. It reduces your transactions cost. It reduces unnecessary exchange rate issues, and it helps us pay for products from different countries in local currency. That way, our traders don't have to run around trying to change money from one currency to another. Let me also request for one more thing. I hope I'm not making too many requests because I have my banker here, and I don't want to get a letter that I am behind schedule in paying my affordable housing, as Musalia has said. We have 5 billion shilling worth of contracts that we have given to MSMEs. These are Juakali artisans. They are making doors, they are making windows, they are making hinges. And what we have done to make it much more professional, we have standardized all the windows. They can now manufacture in bulk. We have also standardized all the doors. They can also manufacture in bulk. But they keep telling me that you ask them too many questions when they come to look for credit. And oftentimes, we've had to step in and provide some guarantees. They have already a proven track record. I want to encourage the banks to look at these MSMEs in the housing ecosystem and see how you can support them. They have legitimate business contracts, and we want to see how we can work together. So this is what I envision as we work together in this space. You have my commitment that we will be disciplined as the public sector. We've taken some very difficult decisions to make sure that we stay the straight and narrow. It is the reason why we have built our reserves. It is the reason why we have invested in the right places to make sure that we bring down inflation. It is my target that next year inflation will be sub 3%. That is a target that we have. And as we bring down inflation and reduce the cost of living, as we stabilize the exchange rates and make sure that we are much more predictable, and as we now work together with you on making sure that we lower interest rates, because that is the trajectory globally, we should be able to be in better space. And you know what? I mean, the international financial system already recognized that our fundamentals are right. That is why there are inflows of investments into Kenya. That is why many investors are looking to Kenya as a place to invest. That's why our tourism is doing okay, our remittances are doing okay, because the fundamentals are right. We need to believe in ourselves more than currently we are doing. We need to be much more positive about our country. How come others believe in us more than we believe in ourselves? You know, that's the question we need to ask ourselves. How can people out there believe in us and believe in our country and believe in Kenya more than we as Kenyans believe in ourselves? I think that's a challenge that we have, and the banking sector can lead the way. Finally, I urge the National Treasury and the Ministry of Cooperative and MSME Development to align policies in order to provide sustainable framework for engaging with opportunities for transformation and addressing the challenges of MSMEs that they face in accessing credit. And I encourage them to work with you as the banking industry so that we can foster and broaden inclusion of stakeholders in the financial services sector and bring the MSMEs on board. I want to thank you very much for what you're doing, and you can take it from me that from the public sector, we will do what we must, and we will also leverage on technology to make sure that we don't lose the resources that you have raised for us to use in ensuring that we do what we must do as a country. Otherwise, asanteni sana. I wish you well as you continue this meeting. I am very happy with what the banking sector is doing, especially in contributing to our domestic mobilization of resources, and also what you're doing to support our MSME sector, the biggest sector we have in Kenya. Asanteni sana, and God bless you.
A round of applause for His Excellency. Thank you, Your Excellency. With your permission, I'll request that